Hey guys, so I get the question a lot of, I'm just getting into makeup, I'm just starting to learn how to use makeup, and some of these things I've never really bought before. What do I need? Where do I get it? And if you're just getting into makeup and you don't want to invest a lot of money all at once, I just wanted to kind of give you some tips and tricks of what to shop for at the drugstore so that you don't have to get a ton of stuff all at once and spend a ton of money. So let's just start with the basics, the few things that you need. If you want a primer, I suggest one of the putty primers from e.l.f. My favorite is just the regular poreless putty primer. I found that the matte putty primer, it just kind of breaks me out. And I don't think it necessarily breaks me out. I think that it just kind of clogs my pores a little bit more than this one, and I don't know why specifically, but this is like the pink one, and the matte one is the white colored one, and they also make a luminous one. But even though I am oily, I don't notice that the regular poreless putty primer doesn't, make me oily, or doesn't not help mattify, so if that makes any sense. So if you need a good primer, I suggest this. I think it's $8. I know at Walmart it's $8, and I believe on their website it's $8 as well. So the next thing I'm going to suggest, I think I have basically two brands to suggest to you, is if you don't want that kind of primer, you can just do like a spray primer. And this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Coconut 3-in-1 Primer Water. This is great. You can prime your face, and then you can also set your face and refresh it with this same bottle. It smells amazing. Take me to the beach. But yes, this is great. They also have a rose and a cucumber in the same thing, so it's definitely worth checking out. I've had this bottle for a little bit. I am getting low. As I'm shaking it, I can hear that it's getting low, so I'm going to need a new one. But yeah, this is really good stuff. And you can just prime and spray your face, you're ready to go. You don't necessarily have to have a primer. I know I use one all the time. I personally use it as another step in skincare, just to help with mattification. So if you have like normal skin or dry skin, normal skin, you can probably skip it altogether. If you have dry skin, you might want something that's going to be like moisturizing. So that's something to think about as well. But anyway, nonetheless, this is pore filling, and that's why I like it, and it really helps to keep my oil down, so that's why I like it as well. So this is something I suggest for sure. Moving on to foundation. My favorite drugstore foundation would have to probably, if I was going to rank it, would have to be the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, either the regular or the dewy. I actually do like the dewy, believe it or not. I tried it not long ago and just truly loved it, and it was just amazing, honestly. I did set it with powder, and it wore perfectly for me. So today I'm wearing the Wet n Wild Photo Focus in soft beige. It's just the regular, it's not the dewy. I've had this on 8 hours and it still looks like this. So I did blot just a little bit. I had a little bit of a shine in my T-zone. I blotted once, and that's been all. So for it to have been a whole day, I feel like it still looks pretty good. So definitely love this foundation. So if you want to try it, I definitely suggest it. I think it's about $6 to $8. I'm not 100% sure, but that would be my suggestion for foundation. I'm just going in order of how I do my makeup. So if you want a good concealer from the drugstore, let's jump back over to e.l.f. They have the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. This is my number one, hands down. This is what I would buy above everything else drugstore. This is it. This is the one. So I've heard it compared a lot to Tarte Shape Tape. So it's definitely worth a try, and definitely worth something to look into to see what you think about it. But if you are on the drier side and you don't want something as mattifying as this. Even though I've known people who are dry and do still like this, they also have the hydrating camo concealer, which is a satin finish. I've used this and I do like it still. It's not as matte, but I just feel like this stays on longer. So they do have two different formulas. They have a different colored cap. This is the regular 16-hour camo concealer. This is the hydrating. So you can kind of tell how it settles a little bit different in there, just the difference in the formula. So this is definitely something you should look into if you're looking at the drugstore for concealer. A setting powder. This has been a recent find. I did not think I would like this at first. I saw someone use it on YouTube and I was like, I don't know about that. It looks like it might be more luminous than I want. And I don't know about that. I'm just, you know, I'm a matte girl all the way. And so I thought I'm gonna try it anyway. And so I did. And I made an order and I tried it. And it's the e.l.f. Halo Setting Powder. And it's in the shade Light. It is a powder in there. I don't know if you can see. But I used it today actually to set my face. It's got a cap on there so you can't really see very much in there. But anyway, I used it today to set my face. I love it. I love that it doesn't make my foundation look cakey. Some powders can do that. And as my skin changes, powders can change for me. Like something that I loved in the winter, I won't like in the summer. So it's just always kind of changing. And for right now, I love this. So it's the Halo Glow Setting Powder in the shade Light. I love it. It's probably my new favorite day to day. This is not just drugstore. This is like every day. This is what I reach for. So definitely something to check out and check into. And I believe this is a relatively new product for e.l.f. Blush. If you want blush, which most of us do, let's be real. I would say to go for this one. This is also from e.l.f. I know a lot of it's e.l.f. and Wet n Wild. It's probably all. I don't think I have a different brand. This is the primer infused blush, and this one is in the shade Always Cheeky. I had to read the name because I forgot. But I absolutely love this. I have it on today. If you can't tell, I didn't plan on doing this video today, but I thought when I did come home from work, I thought, oh, I'm gonna do that video and kind of, because I get that question a lot of, you know, what do you suggest that I get for this or that? And I thought, well, I'll just do a little video and then that'll kind of, you know, cover everything of my suggestions. And this is truly my suggestions. This is what I like to use because honestly, I wasn't planning on doing this, and this is what I reached for this morning. So this is what I'm wearing today, and it's just a beautiful matte peach blush. My light's not showing just how pretty it is. Let me see if I can turn down my light a little bit. I turned it down so you might be able to see it, but that's still not doing it justice. It's really, really beautiful. It actually looks better on my cheek than it does on my hand, if you can believe that. But this is one of my favorites, and I absolutely love it, and it's one of my absolute go-tos. This is actually not e.l.f. or Wet n Wild, believe it or not, this next product. I watch a YouTuber by the name of Casey Holmes, and she had this whole little set with Physicians Formula, and it has a lot of different things in it, which I actually like them all. I don't like the highlighter. That's my only thing in this thing that I don't like, but everything else I like. But this, you don't have to get this whole set just to get this, by the way. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and it's the shade Deep Bronzer. It's awesome, and I would have never picked it because deep bronzer makes me think it'll be too deep for me. But this was not. This was perfect for me. I'm wearing it today. It's what I reached for this morning. It just goes on so beautifully, and it's just like buttery soft. It's just gorgeous. I'll swatch it for you. Of course, when you blend it out on your cheek, it's not that dark, but it is just beautiful. And Physicians Formula is a little bit more expensive, so you know, that's something to consider. They're not as cheap as Elf and Wet n Wild for sure. However, this was on sale when I purchased it. I got this whole thing for 10 bucks. If you are looking for a cheaper bronzer, this is also one of my favorites. As you can tell, I've hit pan. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in this shade Sunset Striptease. It's beautiful. It has a little bit of sheen to it. I'm just going to swatch it for you so you can see how pretty it is. So here is Wet n Wild, and here's Physicians Formula. So there is a difference, but they both have a little bit of a sheen, and they're great formulas, both of them. So whatever your preference is, how much you want to spend, Wet n Wild is definitely cheaper, and the formula is wonderful on it. I'm by no means telling you that Physicians Formula is the better formula. They're both great. But you know, whatever you want to spend your money on. But I definitely love this. And I also love this because for 10 bucks, I got the bronzer, the cheek color, the highlighter that I won't use. I don't know if you can tell. I'll swatch it. You may not be able to see it, but there's glitter in that highlighter. And I'm not going to put glitter on my cheeks. That's just not me. So that's why I don't like it per se. I might use it for my eyes maybe, but I'm not a big glitter person. That's just not something I'm into. But anyway, so it came with the bronzer, the blush, the highlighter, 4 eyeshadows. It had a little perfume, and oh, I'm sorry, this was where the perfume was. And then it had a little lip balm that was in here. It's really good. It's actually in my purse. But all for 10 bucks, and I don't know that it's still on sale, but I believe this is still available. So if you want to check it out, I ordered it from their website. So just FYI on that. I think that she did say on her like Instagram or something like that, that was going to be available at Walmart. So just want to let you guys know that too. So, let's move on to highlighter. What highlighter do I like? This has been my new go-to highlighter. This is the Hello Halo highlighter from Wet n Wild. It's in the shade After Sex Glow. However, I think they've renamed this. When I did my Wet n Wild video, I was trying to look it up, and it's still the same color, but it's a different name. So I believe it's called I Met Someone, I think. But anyway, I will mix the 2 shades, and I will also just use this one alone for a highlighter, which is really beautiful. You can see it there on my hand right here. Gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful. The formula is great. Wet n Wild makes wonderful highlighters. I've never been disappointed. And also, if you get this, you can get a blush and a highlighter in one, and then you don't have to purchase separate products. So, but the blush is definitely a shimmer blush. It's not a matte blush. Just make note of that. On to an eyeshadow palette from the drugstore. The cheapest, but also the absolute best quality you're gonna get is an e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadow palette. I think this one, it's the cream and sugar colors. I think this would probably be my like top recommendation, only because it's neutral. You could wear this daily and it's worth your money to get 4 shades. It has a good mix of mattes and shimmers. However, they have 8 different shadows palettes. This is the Truffles palette. This is also a really pretty neutral. It's more cool tone. It's really pretty. The neutrals palette. This one is also a pretty kind of neutral, warm tone. It's the pumpkin spice, or I'm sorry, pumpkin pie. I apologize. Pumpkin pie. This one is the Very Bad palette, which is really pretty. This one is the Rosewater palette. This was actually my first purchase. And they're really good size too, if you can tell. Like, I'm holding my fingers up there. It's about 1.5 fingers big a shadow is, so that shows you how big it is. This one is called the Carnival Candy palette. This bright blue is a really good pop of color. It would be really pretty to do like a neutral eye and then a pop of blue on the bottom. This one is the Jalapeno. It's a bunch of beautiful greens and this really pretty gold green shimmer. And then there's Acai. I think that's how you say it. A-C-A-I. Acai. But yeah, it's really beautiful. So like I said, my absolute favorite, the one I would suggest you to get if you're new to makeup, is this one. That way you're not intimidated by color. This is very neutral, very usable, very friendly for someone who's very new to makeup. So this is definitely the one I would choose, and that's the Cream and Sugar. But you do you. You pick which one you want. But that is definitely the most affordable and the best quality eyeshadow that I have found at the drugstore. e.l.f. also makes some great eyeliners. This is their H2O proof eyeliner pen. And I used it in a video that I've not posted yet, but that will be coming. But it's really beautiful. And it dries down matte, which makes it even better. I don't know if you can see, but it is matte. And then this is also another favorite of mine. This is e.l.f. Mineral Infused Mascara. It's black. And that's what the one looks like. So it's very pretty. I actually have Mary Kay eyeshadow on today. Mary Kay everything on the eyes. So I didn't wear e.l.f. today on the eyes, but it's very good eyeshadow products. Oh, let's do eyebrow. If you're looking for an eyebrow product, the Instant Lift Brow Pencil. I've been using this one, obviously. This one is the, this right here is the shade Auburn. So, it was sharpened really nice, but I've used it and worn it down. But it's really pretty. I like this a lot. It's a creamy pencil. And then also, this Wow Brow Gel is really good. So that's all. These are both from e.l.f. And I suggest both of those. And I believe that's it. If you want some brushes, Wet n Wild is your way to go. I got most of these in a set from Wet n Wild, but then I also picked up some from the Dollar Tree. And they had them for $1 a piece. So if you're at the Dollar Tree, check it out. Here's a good blending brush. And then I use this for blending out concealer under my eye. Here's a good liner brush. You know, things I like to use. I use this powder brush a lot. You know, blush. This can also be used for blush. You know, there's just so many different brushes here, so definitely check that out. e.l.f. has this little camo concealer sponge. It's really perfect to fit right underneath your eye. It's great to check out. Again, I've got a review on that coming from, not necessarily a review, but it's a full face of e.l.f. Products. e.l.f. also has this, which is dirty because I've used it, but this is their complexion sponge, which is really great. And then of course the Real Techniques complexion sponge I love. So that's also another one to check out. So there is some things for you to check out at the drugstore when you're trying to you know, start your kit and want just a few things to start it off with. There's just some suggestions. Also, almost forgot, this lipstick is from e.l.f. It's the Seriously Satin, and it is really beautiful. It's not what is on my lips today because it just was too light, but it's so beautiful, and it would actually be really pretty. It didn't do it on this one, but if you had a darker lip and you put this in the center, it would be so beautiful. So this is the shade Cream or Creme. I don't know how they say it, but the Seriously Satin from e.l.f. is gorgeous. And then if you want an eye primer, just FYI, you don't have to have it, but if you would like one, the putty eye primer is great, and I like the shade Rose for mine. So I think that's it, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.